Hi everyone, welcome to today's channeled message. I'm gonna go through 13 intuitive and deep questions because the first card that had come up when I was shuffling was the Three of Swords, and it had come up a previous day, and I was made aware that sometimes we look at something because it's attached to a certain situation or circumstance. And what I mean by that is sometimes we see the Three of Swords as heartache, break, pain, because in tarot, it is very similar to, anguish, heartbreak. And sometimes when we're looking at the Three of Swords, we're so busy thinking we're going to get heartbroken. And the reason I mention this is the Three of Swords, for me, this time when it came up in a personal card pull, it had been about moving away from heartbreak, right? So it's saying that sometimes our own minds and ideas and expectations are set with the narrative we already know, and sometimes it's very difficult to shift away from those beliefs. So today's reading is very, very different. That it's almost that the divine masculine was trying to warn you that you'd sense this all along. And there are massive shifts and movements happening, which are helping the divine masculines move away from heartbreak. And I mentioned this in a community post on my YouTube channel. If you haven't checked that out, please go check that one out and vote. Because it's really interesting to understand where you all are in your own journeys. I'm seeing that there are a lot of evidence in the physical plane that the divine masculines are moving away from physical heartbreak, as in they are ending their karmic relationships, which is a big, big deal. And because you're seeing it maybe in your friend groups or your um, family, I'm seeing this so much. Like people who have had long-term connections are moving on from those relationships. And those relationships were karmic. They were a massive lesson for them. But what does it mean in regards to this connection? So the first question I want to ask, and I've already blessed and shuffled the cards and laid them out in front of me. I wanted to ask, what is the divine masculine currently awakening to on a soul level? The Empress. Are you kidding me? If you've seen some of the past videos, most recent ones, I had mentioned that the Empress was the biggest block. The biggest block was that understanding that the Empress lives within them, that they are the other half of the soul connection, particularly for those of you who identify with the twin flame or the divine love. But take whatever messages resonate because the divine masculine that you are listening in for is currently awakening to the Empress. It's almost saying that, yes, there had to be past karmic relationships, there had to be separation in order to acknowledge the power of this connection, the power of this bond. And the Emperor's card is here to show up to say, the divine feminine, the more you release, let go, and surrender to the flow of the connection, of focusing on your own path, doing your own thing, that is bringing the divine masculine closer and closer in. And because of this unbothered frequency, it is attracting the divine masculine in warp speed. So, what past beliefs or conditioning is the divine masculine breaking free from? Oh my God, the tower. This is so crazy. Two major arcanas, one after the other. And the reason is they're breaking free from the illusion. They're breaking free from the karmic cycles that have kept them trapped. Their past beliefs. What did I say earlier? Sometimes we believe that the Three of Swords is a negative thing, but sometimes it doesn't have to be a negative thing. Like the Tower card, the Death card, they don't have to be negative things. And the masculines are understanding that this wasn't a bad thing. It may be very hard to experience this shift in their relationships and their unhappiness of the decision that they made way back when. But their conditioning is allowing them to come into the conscious reality that They didn't know then what they know now. They're breaking free from the illusion, from the karmic cycles, from the veil that they had openly, willingly kept up when it came to this particular connection and when it came to their karmic connection, thinking that that's the Empress. Sometimes the divine masculine wants to believe that they are right on such a deeper level, that they want to believe that they can accept and experience a divine love. And when they get hoodwinked from the karmic, that is a lesson to say, yes, you chose wrongly, because you chose wrongly when you deflected and distracted yourself away from the divine feminine. So, how is the divine masculine's perception of the divine feminine shifting at this time? The Knight of Pentacles. Now, for some reason, I keep getting slow moving, consistent, steady, reliable offer of love. So, the divine feminine's way of being consistent, reliable, safe, loving, kind, funny. Like, I feel that the divine masculine are truly seeing the divine feminines as if in a new light, right? It's saying that, how did I miss this incredible being? How did I miss this divine person? What is the emotions that the divine masculines are struggling to process during this time of transformation? Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is usually such a happy card, and I feel that this has come up consequently in previous readings where accepting that you are worthy of love, accepting that you are worthy of a genuine, loving, real divine connection has been a struggle for the divine masculines, but they are understanding that the Ten of Cups is available to them. And there has been a shift in their reality to help them understand that. And it's so funny because I'm seeing that the consistency of the divine feminine, even though you've pulled back your energy, divine feminines, the consistency of you and who you are and everything you embody and encompass has actually allowed the divine masculine to come to terms with their struggling emotions, to come to terms with this level of transformation, like saying that maybe the Ten of Cups was available to me, but I chose a lesser cup because I thought I was worthy of that. So their level of worth was tied into the relationship that they got in connection with. And seeing you as the Empress that you are allows them to now go, well, why am I hiding away from this individual? Why can't our light be transformational together? Like it's almost like they're coming to a level of transformational awakening of seeing their own worth. So, what is the subconscious fears that are surfacing as the divine masculine steps into their true power? The King of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, what did I say? Like, they want to come up loyal, reliable, steady, safe for you, divine feminines, because they came forward as the Knight of Pentacles. They see this connection as the Knight of Pentacles of something that is valued, something that is consistent, something that is loyal. And when I asked about the subconscious fears that are resurfacing as they step into their true power, like they are now hoping to understand. And if you're a divine masculine listening to this, tell us, are you stepping into your King of Pentacles energy? Because in a previous reading, I literally did a divine feminine reading. I'll put a link in the final slide of this video. But the divine feminines came as the Queen of Pentacles. There is a physical manifestation of abundance. That's what you are, divine feminines. And as the divine masculines are shedding those subconscious fears, they're still trying to understand their worth. They're still trying to understand how fiercely loyal they can be to themselves, how much that they can hold this level of abundance and prosperity, and not just in a material way, in an emotional, in a heartfelt way. Having an abundance of good relationships and solid emotional stability, like that is resurfacing for the divine masculines as he is being asked to step into their true power. So, how is the divine masculine's heart opening? And what are they learning about love? The Five of Wands. Now, it's really funny. I see the Five of Wands as an upskilling card. They're using people around them to help them elevate. So it's saying that in order for my heart to be open, I needed for it to be broken. I needed for it to hurt. I needed to understand that it wasn't love, whereas I probably perceived it would be. Like, it's almost as if this Five of Wands is saying that you needed to be broken in order to be rebuilt and in a stronger way. So let's have a look at the spiritual growth and purpose for the divine masculines. What is the new spiritual lessons that the divine masculine is integrating now? The Judgment card. Wow. Okay. So the third major arcana is come underneath the Empress card. This spiritual lesson that the divine masculines are really truly integrating is learning to slow down and integrate this purposeful, intentional rhythm of love. I'm hearing like music and songs, and I feel as if there's a connection here that it's like there's no rhyme or reason for it. There's a melody that you are both aligned to, attuned to, and that's bringing you back to come back home to one another. This is letting your heart lead. And even though your heart has been broken, divine masculines, you're integrating this new spiritual lesson of looking at a higher guidance, asking your higher self, what do I do? Instead of externally seeking validation, it's upskilling your own intuition and upskilling your own decision making and like really trusting that. So I wanted to ask how, oh my gosh, I'm loving these questions. Like literally, I wrote these questions down and I forgot what I wrote because I shuffled and obviously I blasted and did all of that. And I came back to this almost like 3 hours later. I was talking about the connection to their higher self, right? Regarding the Judgment card. And the next question that I wrote was, how is this connection to their higher selves or inner guidance evolving? And we've got the Four of Pentacles. Like they are holding on to, this is why the Four of Pentacles is very appropriate in this specific question, which is why it's so important to find guidance from those who can use their oracle and intuitive insights, not just read the cards. Because this connection that the divine masculine is sinking into from that Judgment card, helping themselves be more intuitive, be more knowledgeable, be more in tune with their higher self. This is actually saying that their guidance, their inner guidance, their higher selves is evolving, and that is something that they're holding on to. That is something that they are really fine tuning. And this is such a positive message. Like I can feel my heart mend. I can feel the heartbreak intertwine and reform new neurons and wires. And it's just such a beautiful message. What karmic cycles are coming to an end for the divine masculine? Strength card. What did I say earlier? That the divine masculine had to be broken to be rebuilt stronger. So those karmic cycles have purposely been in place and they are coming to an end. Those lessons have been learned, the strength has been acknowledged and held on to, and this is actually giving strength to themselves in order to step up for what they really truly value and need for themselves as well as the divine connection. So how is the divine masculine and feminine dynamics happening right now? So, how is the divine masculine being divinely guided towards deeper balance within themselves? The Ace of Pentacles. This is the Ace of Pentacles, even though it's a material abundance card. The divine masculines are divinely guided towards, I'm just hearing this message of, I could live in a tent with you. I can go on the road and live in my van with you. And it's almost as if like the divine masculines don't really care about material abundance, that they can, live in a tent or sleep in a van and they'll be perfectly content. And that is the type of guidance that the divine masculines are balancing themselves with, because they are being guided to know that these karmics probably had wanted these material rewards and accolades and being fawned over in a material physical way, but you divine feminine have never been like that, and you've never really asked for things like that. And I feel like because of that simplicity, because of the minimalism, that's very attractive to the divine masculines, but it's also conflicting within them because they also do want to be a provider. They also do want to be financially secure for themselves and for this connection. So it's there's very much this conflict that is happening internally, but it's also helping the divine masculine be guided towards this deeper balance between their inner divine masculine and feminine. So what is the energy that the divine masculines are currently embodying in relation to the divine feminine? Oh, you kidding me? We've got the Queen of Pentacles, and you will never guess what. The Queen of Pentacles is directly underneath the King of Pentacles. So this is amazing. The divine masculine also knows they need to be in this physical presence of abundance, the King of Pentacles. They know that that is something that is in their subconscious as a fear, and they need to step into their true power. And their current energy embodying in relation to you, divine feminines who are listening in, is the Queen of Pentacles. That's what I said earlier. They see you as a Queen of Pentacles, and they want to step up as the King of Pentacles, but they need to know their worth regarding this. So I'm getting so excited about this reading. I love that the cards have aligned and they are so profound. What message does the divine masculine's higher self want the divine feminines to receive? The Temperance card. I'm trying, I'm balancing, I'm understanding, I'm getting it. I'm wanting to delve deeper into my divine essence. When I go inwards, I feel you, feminines, and I can't explain it. When I go inwards and I go quiet, all I think about is you and our connection, and all I feel is peace. Last question. What is the next phase of this journey, and how can the divine masculine best navigate it? The Two of Cups. Like, seriously? Like, I love that the divine masculine have actually said that their higher self wants the divine feminine to receive messages that the divine feminines do need to continue to trust this process. They do need to know that everything is unfolding in divine timing, that there is such an energetic harmony. You know what I said earlier? It's this yin yang that the divine masculines are feeling. There is such a deep integration behind blending the logic, the emotions, the ego, the soul, the past wounds, and the newfound wisdom for the divine masculines in themselves. So divine masculine's higher self wants the divine feminines to stay grounded, to trust the process as they are experiencing this inner healing and alignment, to stay in your higher divine feminine flow, to trust the connection, to recognize this alchemy between the both of you, because it's not just about romance, it's a spiritual transformation, and you are evolving into wholeness individually. So the next phase of the journey, when we see the Two of Cups, it is the next phase of the divine masculine's journey about opening their heart fully to the connection and mutual love. Like, they are moving into a space that they can engage in their true partnership, whether the divine feminines or within themselves, balancing that inner and outer divine masculine and feminine, because they need to learn to express their emotions and trust in connections on a deeper level. They need to let go of those past fears and conditioning around love, intimacy, and commitment. A lot of divine masculines have still wounds that they've been holding on to, and they need to let those things go in their own time. That actually they need to understand that this external relationship with youth, divine feminine, is a reflection of their own inner growth, that they get to align with a heart-centered connection. They get to choose love over fear, presence over avoidance, and partnership over separation. And that is such a beautiful thing that they are doing right now. And it's actually suggesting a deeper emotional, spiritual union is on the horizon. And that's the next phase of this journey, whether it's within themselves or the connection with you, divine feminines, or just relationships in general. They are learning that love isn't just an idea, but it's a frequency that they need to embody. And because we're transitioning from their higher self telling you about the temperance to the Two of Cups showing you the journey about inner balance and leading to outer union, it's showing that the divine masculine is really moving from an internal phase of healing, patience, self-regulation into a phase of deeper connection, reciprocity, emotional availability. Like if any of your masculines have been stuck on that emotional train or, very resistant to be vulnerable, that is changing. So for the divine feminines who are listening, it's holding that space, trusting the flow, aligning with your own self-love, and knowing that the masculine is integrating these lessons of the truest partnership of harmony that is naturally unfolding. And I absolutely adore this reading. So if this is something that you resonated with, please let me know by clicking the like button. If you wanted to join the community, head over to divinesacredtarot.com. The link is in the description box. You can either book a personal reading with me, or you can join the community where we have weekly newsletters, exclusive readings, and community calls. I'm sending you guys so much love. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.